So I'm making a video today about the TV show You. It's one of my favorite shows. I missed the mark for this video about a month ago. I just never made it. But I rewatched every episode of season 1 after I watched season 2, and then went back to season 2 again and watched all of them again. So I was excited though because January 14th they did announce they're officially doing season 3 of You, and it's coming out in 2021. And it's pretty exciting. I do have notes. I was trying earlier to like read off of them, and it was not working. So I'm making a whole new video. I guess like with the differences between the seasons 1 and 2 of You is Joe himself. Because in season 1, I feel like he's like in his comfort area. He was working at a place he's like been. He loves New York. Everything about it to him is just normal. When he goes to LA, he absolutely hates it. He thinks like a lot of things are annoying and just silly, and it's just funny to be because like he ran there of all places, but it's because he thought he would be the most miserable, but he thought other people would think that as well. Candace did see through that, obviously. I'm not gonna get too much into like every storyline. I just wanted to kind of go over the things I love about especially season 2, but kind of comparing the two seasons, and then also like what I'm so excited about for season 3, what I think will happen. So basically, season 1, Joe, the main character, is like obsessed with Beck. He wants to know everything about her. He like stalks her social media. He's outside of her house. He knows who she's dating, who her friends are, even before he ever really like gets to know her. All from one encounter in the bookshop when she was buying a book. It's just super strange to me. Anyway, and then he kind of like lurks around, and then he's just was ironically there for her when she needs it. So she eventually starts to build that relationship with him off of all false pretenses. Season 2, I like the fact, I hate that her name is Love, but Love is just completely not what you'd expect. Like everything about her. Even when I first watched it, I was thinking again, like, this is just another girl that he's going to prey on, and I was so upset. But, like, she ends up being just as crazy as him. And I shouldn't say crazy like that, but I can't think of a better term. They're both murder people, and I shouldn't say I think it's okay, but they kind of justify it by saying they had no other choice, and it's just insanity to me. But it's just, like, with Beck, he was able to kind of manipulate her better. I think Joe is definitely like some type of master manipulator with definitely a superiority complex. He thinks that he's above like doing what's right. He's above, in season 1, Beck's boyfriend because he wants Beck. It's just super strange. And unfortunately, I know people like that too, so I know it's very real. But it's also ironic how this obviously has spoilers in it. I don't think anybody would click on this, so if they didn't expect that. But in season 2, at the end, when he finds out he's going to be a father, it's like when I was rewatching season 1, there is, I shouldn't say foreshadowing necessarily, but you can see he would be a good father because how his neighbor, the young boy, his parents, like, he lives in an abusive household, and Joe, like, gives him a meatball sub. He shows him the books. Like, he tries to make a connection with him. And I think that kind of for Joe's personality traits, that's one trait that stood out to me is like, that's actually like a good person. It sounds weird because he's also a murderer, but yeah, I mean, he definitely has that like nurturing trait. I think because he never had that, and he very clearly wanted that. And that's, I think, the main reason he did not leave Love, because he did not want to have his child grow up the same way. However, I think that the whole situation is completely crazy. Trying to think. I had wrote this. Joe seems way more cynical and unstable in season 1. He did obviously attempt to appear a little more normal in season 2. How I said earlier, he had to, because he's trying to hide from Candace, trying to hide from his past. But I said, even his erratic dancing after trapping Benji in his dungeon of terrors below the bookshop. But I'm joking, but it's just weird. Like, he didn't have any feeling of like, I don't think he feels like people are people. Like, they're what I think it's pretty obvious he doesn't feel that way, but it's like he wants people to do what he wants, and if they don't want to do it, they don't matter at all. Like, he doesn't feel sorry. I don't think he thinks to the extent of thinking, like, when he murders these people, their families are going to mourn, people are going to be upset. I don't think he even thinks that far. So it's just strange, because then in season 2, like, I don't know, like, whenever Delilah was murdered, it's like when he thought he did it, he was genuinely upset with himself. Now, I do know that obviously they had a very, like, short-term fling, but it's still just, like, I don't think the Joe from season 1 would have felt that, even with the circumstances. But also, like, out of his comfort zone, I think this is a big thing for me that I love about season 2, even though some of the twists and stuff got to me a little bit. I didn't like all of them at first, I should say, but okay, so for me, in season 2, Joe has so many people around him that are holding him accountable. And I don't mean, like, necessarily, like, on purpose even, but, like, they know who he is, they want answers from him, and, like, he kind of owes it to them. Like, he gets involved with so many different people and different groups of people that he has to somewhat stay on a better path. And in season 1, the only other characters really at all were, like, Beck's circle, like, her friends. And now, obviously, with Peach, that was pretty, like, extravagant. But other than that, you know, none of her friends really got developed into full characters. And Beck herself, they kind of kept her not being developed into a full character. And that's a good thing, in my opinion, because, like, she didn't know necessarily what she wanted to do her whole life. She had, like, so many decisions to make. And it's kind of, like, heartbreaking because he took that decision, like, that time to make the decisions from her. And in season 2, like, just the way, like, even where he works, and, like, Delilah and Ellie and everybody, it's like he has to, and different coworkers too. And then with Love's brother being so active in her life, it's like he had so many different people to please that he, I think, started feeling more accountable for his actions in general, because I think he finally was starting to see that it would ripple effect a little more than he did in season 1. Now, I don't know how to word this. I'm just going to say it. Like, I think for sure that Joe and Love are not going to work out. I mean, I think that's kind of seen. They might, and if they do, it's because they simply force themselves to for their child, which I think too many people do in the real world. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. As a single parent myself, me and her father had known that it would be better. I'm not even going to get into that, but we knew it would be better if we were separated. And I admire the fact that we were able to come to that agreement. But I see why people stay together. But the fact that when she reveals to him that she did murder Delilah, and she, you know, she murdered Candace, and just all of it, it's just so crazy. And you see this flip. Now, the only reason I have any issue with the fact that Love is crazy as well is the fact that I think how I mentioned with season 1, how he has this superiority complex, and just like he likes to be the manipulator. I think that I just don't see it happening this way, because I think he would have definitely walked away, or like just dealt with the fact that he thought he was going to die and just said, you know, I can't do this. So the fact that he kind of just took it for what it was when she said, like, she's a murderer too, I just kind of found that unbelievable. But at the same time, I liked it. So, I mean, it's a TV show. It's meant to be entertaining, and it's very entertaining. I love this show for that reason. So, it's just odd. And then I really loved that season 2. Joe was already, like, a well-developed character, but we completely see different sides of him in season 2. Like, he gets to be scared this time when Love has him in the box. He looks terrified, and I think he actually felt terrified and almost, like, disgusted. So I'm hoping that sometimes in season 3 that, like, his conscience, like, should get a little stronger to be a better motivator for what he does, because I think that, one, also when he becomes a father, that would probably help. But the fact that he saw how somebody else doing the same actions as him can affect somebody. So hopefully he sees that what he's doing is crazy. I doubt it, but maybe. I think Love is just nuts, which I like. But yet again, it's just, I kind of had a hard time seeing it as realistic, but she's nuts. And, you know, she beats him at his own game. She's been manipulating him since day one. She knew who he was, what he was up to, like, why he was doing what he was doing. And it's just crazy that, to, like, at the end of the season, to watch back for everything else. And at the end of the day, like, I think with season 3, it's going to be great because of the fact that at the end of season 2, he sees a neighbor, and a lot of people I saw, like, online saying it's his mom. I don't think the hands look old. I don't think it could be his mom, honestly. But either way, like, Joe gets bored, it seems, quickly. Even if he thinks he's not, I think he does. I think that's why he makes more self-destructive decisions right after each other. So I'm interested to see what season 3 has. I personally think that the neighbor is another, like, I don't know, somehow it's going to be another crazy, like, stalker thing for him. And he's going to end up having the repercussions because Love, now that we know she is a manipulator as well, she's going to be 10 steps ahead of him. She probably already knows what the neighbor looks like and already has everything figured out. So I hope this was an okay video. I'm trying to get better with these types of videos. Sometimes I feel like I'm giving a speech, like a class, when I'm looking at myself. It makes me very nervous, but I am excited to see what season 3 will have. I might make another video on this show, though, after I rewatch it again, because I noticed even watching one episode twice in a row, I noticed like 10 different things again. So I might make another, like, more specific video. I do want to make a video kind of, though, about how I think Joe's character is as a whole, because that would be a huge video in itself. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a good night.